So guys, I want to break this video down into two. I want to talk about what Spence had to say. And I want to talk about Lomachenko and Nakatani. So guys, Spence said that Manny Pacquiao is an icon and it's a bigger fight than Terence Crawford. He said he said that the fight between him and Manny Pacquiao is a bigger fight than the Terence Crawford fight. Terence Crawford isn't as big a fight as Manny Pacquiao. Now, some boxing fans might not be happy hearing that because some people may say, well, the legacy fight is Terence Crawford because Terence Crawford's in his prime. He's undefeated. He's a three-weight world champion. And that's the fight that a lot of boxing fans want to see. So that might trigger some boxing fans because boxing fans want to see, Spence fight Terence Crawford. However, he's spot on. Manny Pacquiao is an icon. He's a legend. He's a guy that people look up to. He's one of the greatest fighters of all time. And Errol Spence knows that Manny Pacquiao brings a lot of exposure. Financially, it's a very lucrative fight, a lot more than the Terence Crawford fight. And Manny Pacquiao's not going to be around forever. Manny Pacquiao is going to be retired soon. So Errol Spence knows that he wants to fight a legend in Manny Pacquiao and have his name on his resume, which makes Errol Spence's resume a lot greater. Also, Errol Spence in his head will be thinking, if I beat Manny Pacquiao, I'll have three belts in the 147-pound division. I'm in a very strong position when I go to the negotiating table with Terence Crawford. Even though I don't think it's going to make any difference because I don't think Crawford's going to agree to anything but 50-50. Which I think if Spence beats Pacquiao and the pay-per-view numbers are through the roof, I do think it's going to be hard for Terence Crawford to... it's going to be hard for Terence Crawford to ask for 50-50. To that point where I think majority of boxing fans will probably side with Spence just because of Spence's resume and the fact that Spence would have a lot of credible names now on his resume because he's beaten Kell Brook, he's beaten Mikey Garcia, he's beaten Lamont Peterson, he's beaten Danny Garcia, he's beaten Sean Porter. And then if he gets Manny Pacquiao's name on that resume as well, his resume starts to look very, very thick. And I do think there are some asterisks around that because I do think that he fought a Kell Brook that was coming off a devastating loss against Golovkin. He had his eye socket broken. And then he fought Mikey Garcia, who was two weight classes below him, really. Garcia was moving up 2 weight classes. Lamont Peterson was way, way past his best. Sean Porter, a very, very solid win. Danny Garcia, solid win. And obviously Manny Pacquiao would be a solid win, bearing in mind Manny Pacquiao in his last fight beat Keith Thurman. So this would be a solid win as well. And Manny Pacquiao still, in most people's eyes, ranked top 3 welterweight in the world. So this would be a very, 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 very solid win for Errol Spence. And really, he would have cleaned up the welterweight division. And really, he would only need to fight Danny Garcia from the Keith Thurman to really clean everything up from this side. And then, obviously, he'll just have Terence Crawford to fight. And if he beats Terence Crawford, then you could say he's cleaned up welterweight, good and proper, and he's ready to move up to 154. I don't think Spence has got long at 154 at all, by the way. I think after Pacquiao, I think it's going to be Crawford. If not Crawford, he's moving up. I personally think that if the Crawford fight can't be made, I think he's going to be moving up to 154. To which point I think those belts are going to get scattered, which gives some of the young prospects like your Ennis's, like your Ortiz's, a chance to fight for titles. And it gives old guys like Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia, Sean Porter an opportunity to win those belts as well. So I do think that the belts are going to get scattered once Spence moves up. Because remember, Spence is, unless Terence Crawford wins against Spence, those belts are going to get scattered. Because Terence Crawford might want to stay at 147 because he hasn't fought the top guys yet. So even if he beats Spence and Spence moves up to 154, Terence Crawford may want to fight the other top guys. So he may want to still fight your Danny Garcias, your Keith Thurmans, your Sean Porters. He may still want to fight them. Who knows? If he was to fight and beat Spence. Whereas Spence is obviously move up. If Spence wins, he'll move up to 154 because he would have cleaned up already. So I do agree with Errol Spence that Manny Pacquiao's an icon and Manny Pacquiao's the bigger fighter out of the two. And I've said this for, many times on my channel that the bigger money fight for Errol Spence is Manny Pacquiao. Terence Crawford isn't a bigger money fight for Errol Spence. The bigger money fight is Manny Pacquiao. So Errol Spence is making a great move here because he's getting Manny Pacquiao in a fight that might be Manny Pacquiao's last. If he beats Manny Pacquiao, then, he can move up. He can fight. He's in a great position with 3 belts to fight Terence Crawford, or he can move up. So, he'll have all the cards on his side. If he wants to move up because the Crawford fight can't happen, he'll move up. If the Crawford fight can be made, he'll fight Crawford for all the belts. So I personally think Errol Spence will push for that Crawford fight because I think he wants to be undisputed. So I do think that he'll push for that because I think that's his goal and ambition of becoming undisputed. But I don't think if the fight can't be made, I don't think he'll just move up to 154. So I think Errol Spence has made the right decision here to fight Manny Pacquiao, especially if we know that he's going to be reinstated and it's going to be for 3 belts. The winner of the fight holds 3 belts, and Spence being a huge favorite, or Spence being confident that he beats Manny, he'll hold 3 of those belts, which only leaves one version, which is the WBO version, which Terence Crawford has. So yeah, that for me is going to be interesting. That for me is going to be interesting to see how all of this plays out. Because I'm very confident if Pacquiao was to beat Spence, then Pacquiao will fight Terence Crawford. I think that fight will be a lot easier to make. And I think Pacquiao will go for a Terence Crawford fight as well. But I think if Spence wins, I think it's going to be a lot more complicated. I don't think it's going to be that straightforward at all. I don't think it's going to be straightforward at all. But yeah, that's my take on Spence, Pacquiao, and Crawford. Now I want to move on to Lomachenko, Nakatani. I think this is a great fight, guys. It's a great fight. I think this is a great fight. Lomachenko's been inactive for a very long time. Since the Lopez fight, really, which was, when was that? In October, was it? Can't remember. When was that fight? In October. So he's been out for a while, been out for like 7, 8 months. I know he had problems with his shoulder. I'd like to see these guys active a lot more, but I know he's had a shoulder injury. So he had to rest that. But yeah, I think it's a great fight. I think Nakatani's a problem. Nakatani caused Teofimo Lopez all kinds of problems. I don't think this is an easy fight for Lomachenko. I do expect Lomachenko to get the win, but I don't think this is going to be easy at all. I think Lomachenko struggles against these type of big guys. And Nakatani showed against Lopez that he's very durable, so he ain't going to go down that easy. And he's also got he's going to have a lot of height and range on Lomachenko. So this is a very, very tough fight. Very, very tough comeback fight. And you got to give credit to Lomachenko after taking a loss. He's not coming back into a comeback fight. He's having a proper fight. Most guys that come back off a loss, they have a tune-up fight. This is no tune-up fight. This is a hard fight. He's fighting a great fighter in Nakatani. Nakatani gave Lopez a lot of trouble. So this is by no means a foregone conclusion. I'm not saying Nakatani's going to go out there and beat Lomachenko, but actually, I'll take that back. I actually think Nakatani is capable of pulling this off. And I wouldn't be shocked if he does. I'm not favouring him in the fight, but I do think he could pull it off. Especially with Lomachenko coming off a loss, his confidence won't be great. He'll be doubting himself a little bit, and he's got to go in there and put in an impressive performance. Lomachenko is on no one's pound for pound list anymore. People have thrown Lomachenko off even the top 10. This is what a loss can do. From going from number 2 or number 1, this guy's gone off the pound for pound list. That's what a loss can do to your you know, pound for pound status. So Lomachenko probably wants to put in a emphatic performance so he can get back on that pound for pound list and then hopefully get a Lopez rematch. I think that's what Lomachenko probably wants to do, because I think Lomachenko wants to right that wrong. I don't think that he will get that rematch, because I'm not sure whether Teofimo Lopez is going to be breaking the door down for that rematch. If I'm honest with you, I think Lopez might want to go to 140 and fight a Taylor. That's just my honest opinion. I think he might want to go and fight a Josh Taylor, to be honest with you. I think he probably looks at that fight that I've already beat Lomachenko. Why give him another opportunity to potentially beat me when I can go up to 140 and try to become undisputed at 140? You know, so it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense for Teofimo Lopez to jump up to 140, you know, and possibly fight a Taylor. So let's see how this all plays out. I like to see these. I like to see these fights between Taylor and Lopez and Gervonta and Teofimo. Gervonta and Teofimo is a great fight. I don't think that's going to happen, but I would love to see that fight. I'd love to see that fight. That would be a great fight. But in terms of Lomachenko-Nakatani, this is a tough fight. This is not an easy fight. Lomachenko should win, but by no means it's a foregone conclusion. Nakatani is a serious fighter. And I think it's going to be a tough fight. Not easy at all. Not easy at all. But leave your thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section below about this fight. Let me know what you think about the about Errol Spence saying he'd rather fight Manny Pacquiao, or not rather, he never said that. He said Manny Pacquiao's a bigger fight than Terence Crawford. And who do you think wins this fight between Loma and Nakatani? Leave your thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think. And guys, remember to please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.